Hey everybody, welcome back for the final time to the Harlem Fkn Globetrotters. We are here 5 years into the future to see what has happened to Paris Saint-Germain since we left, what kind of legacy did we leave, and more importantly, has Zinedine Zidane absolutely ruined it? When we were last here, just 1 year after our departure, Zinedine Zidane absolutely destroyed our incredible defensive record, almost halved our amount of goals, lost more games in his one season than we managed in 2 league seasons. And, well, it was all pretty depressing. So I haven't seen any of this yet. We are going to look and see what kind of Paris Saint-Germain team are we looking at 5 years in the future. A lot of players are now going to be retired. I think Neymar is likely to be gone. Maybe Marquinhos and Mbappe, we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting to see if any of the young players that we signed have progressed into the first team, and maybe some of the academy products that came through the youth system, if they have become players as well. Is Zinedine Zidane still the manager? Let's have a look here. So it is now Martin De Michelis is now the manager. So when did he become a manager here? Let's have a look. So very interesting. So he has been at Bayern Munich second team, then Lorient, and well, now he's at Paris Saint-Germain. Has he really earned the Paris Saint-Germain job? I don't know, but let's have a look, see what happened to them in the league. So we're now into pre-season of the 2028-29 season. There's been a World Cup and Euros. We'll have a look at that in a little while. If we have a look at the league table, how did it finish last season? Well, Paris Saint-Germain, you can see there they were back to somewhere near the best, or their best even. 88 points, only 2 defeats in the league, and 79 goals for, 19 against, which is that better than we did? Did we do 18? I can't remember. We'll have a look in a little while. But let's take a look at this Paris Saint-Germain team. First of all, have a look at how they're doing. Erling Haaland is now the captain, with Gianluigi Donnarumma the vice captain. So who else have they got? So they've got Asensio, Ansu Fati is signed. There are very, very few of our players now. Hakimi is still at right back. Obviously, Haaland and Donnarumma we know are there. And Ibanez is still in the centre of defence. So it is pretty much an entirely different team now. Eder Militao also there. Let's have a look. Is there anyone else that we signed? Mariba is in the squad. They do have a very, very good squad, but there is virtually nothing left from what we left. Niklas Sule is on the transfer list. Now 32 years old. How much has he been playing? Not much at all, really, for the last couple of seasons anyway. So Niklas Sule is still there. Marquinhos is still there. Let's have a look at Marquinhos, now 34 years old. The ex-captain has continued to be playing, so that's nice. Let's have a look here. Who else can we find? Is there anybody else? Richarlison is in there. Luka Jovic is in there. Dani Olmo's still there, who's of course signed before we left. I don't see any of the youngsters that we signed for the team at all. Let's have a look. In the second team, did anybody that we signed end up coming through and staying in the second team? If we go by position, how very depressing. How very depressing. Now, Jonathan Velez, I think, came through the youth system in our second season, now 21. A Colombian centre-back. He's only made a couple of appearances for the first team. He's got a few in there. He was kind of the best prospect that came through in our second season. You can see from his marking stats there, obviously there's very little that we can see, but from his marking stats, it appears that he didn't really progress much. So that's kind of disappointing. And from the rest, we can see there is basically nobody left anymore. Our entire squad that we put together has been pretty much ripped up. Agustin Leclerc, he was another one that came through the youth system at the time, as did Jack Durand, who I see is out on loan there. Yeah, we can't see anything of him, but again, he's just had a little loan out there. He's made a couple of 3 appearances in Ligue 1. Again, he was actually seen as being potentially better than Leo Messi, which now looks like a little bit of an exaggeration. Jack Durand, he was another one that was looked at as having a bit of a bright future. You can see he's, again, just played a couple of games in Liga, not really progressed to the level of being able to compete with the world stars. And I think Chris Faber was also an academy product who was predicted to have a bit of a bright future. Again, a few appearances in Ligue 1 for the first team, but yeah, he's not really progressed to the level, has he? So the Paris Saint-Germain academy not really achieving great things in terms of preparing players for the first team. And yeah, I'm kind of depressed. I was kind of hoping that we would have left a little bit of a bigger imprint on the team, but that's the way it goes there, I guess. If we go back to the league, just see how the last few seasons have gone. So Paris Saint-Germain currently the dominant team there. Again, the season prior only lost 3 games, 89 points. Again, a really good defensive record. So it looks like things did improve. I'm not sure when Zidane left. You can see there they've was that the season that Zidane did? Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. They actually had another invincible season here. So only 21 conceded. Again, they haven't been scoring many goals, but they did achieve yet another invincible season. So that was Zidane's first season. We'll see again in a second. Let's have a look at, can we see here landmarks for Paris Saint-Germain? So when did, let's have a look, managers. So how long was Zinedine Zidane? So he was actually there for 3 years. So he won 3 leagues and won 3 cups during that time. So looking at this, I'm not sure. It looks as though they possibly haven't won a Champions League, but let's go and have a look at that now. So they have won the league every year. It looks like they've won a few cups. Let's have a look at Champions League. This is the big one. I want to see if they managed to end up with a Champions League we left. Did Zinedine Zidane, Liverpool the holders again, we can see. Did Zinedine Zidane once again manage to take the squad that we had left? No, we can see there from the past winners. Unfortunately, there is no sign of Paris Saint-Germain anywhere. Let's have a look at the finals of the competition. So let's go back to, let's have a look, the round, that might be it. So if we have a look at the tree for each season, so last season, no, this can't be right, this is qualifying. Okay, let's have a look at the final here. Okay, and all right, so Liverpool have just beaten Real Madrid on penalties. Manchester City beat Bayern Munich the year before. Bayern Munich beat Borussia Dortmund the year before that. And Chelsea beat Manchester City in an all-English final. That was the season that we last saw where Bayern Munich were just about to face off against Borussia Dortmund. So Paris Saint-Germain have been absolutely nowhere to be seen. Let's have a look. If we look at the So here we can see this was Zinedine Zidane's first season. Where are Paris Saint-Germain? Paris Saint-Germain did make the semi-final the season after, beaten by Manchester City again. So again, they did come pretty close there. The following season, they lost in the first knockout round to Barcelona. So that was Zidane's final season. Don't know if maybe that was just the end of his contract or if his failure in the Champions League kind of put the nail in his coffin there. Although I think that was their invincible season in the league. And then Paris Saint-Germain here going out to Manchester City again in the quarterfinals. Last season is that. And then here going out to Liverpool. So Liverpool and Manchester City have been absolute arch rivals, regularly beating Paris Saint-Germain here in the first knockout round. So huge disappointment for Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. One semi-final appearance. Zidane or Di Michaelis, they could not repeat our Champions League final season. Let's have a quick look at what else has been going on here then. So what happened in the World Cup? Let's have a look. I think it should be coming up. The FIFA World Cup. Who are the holders? The holders are now Sweden, apparently. Okay. So whilst we were playing our second season, Germany, of course, came out winners. Sweden now the holders. What a huge shock that is. So what sort of team have Sweden got? Let's have a look here. If we have a little look at their squad, who has been so fantastic so as to win them a World Cup? So Benjamin Nygren, well, he doesn't look bad, does he? He's not bad. Gaio Keres, he's very average. This sometimes happens in Football Manager, doesn't it? Where teams that don't really look amazing end up having incredible international teams. So Swedberg, not a bad central midfield playmaker there. The same for Svanberg. They kind of look like they've got kind of solid Premier League standard players. Certainly don't look like World Cup winners. Kulusevski doesn't look bad. Carlson. Yeah, I mean, they look just like solid Premier League players, don't they? Really not sure how they've come up with a World Cup win in the end. Maybe just based on being hard to beat. Let's have a look at the Euros. Will it come up through Euros? No, so, okay, so not Euros. European. Let's have a look. Oh, is the game frozen on me? No. Okay, European Championship. Will that be it? Let's have a little search there. European Championship. If not, we'll go back to Sweden. There we are. UEFA European Championship. Who are the holders? It is Germany. So they have won the last one. So there you go. Sweden and Germany dominating international football now, apparently. Kylian Mbappe there, player of the or best rated player of the last tournament and the top scorer, ahead of our own Erling Haaland. So Paris Saint-Germain love in there. Let's have a look at the Ballon d'Or. So Golden Ball. Let's have a look. Who is the Ballon d'Or winner? World Golden Ball. So you can see Kylian Mbappe has now won it for the last 2 years. 33 goals in 53 games. Sweden's own Dejan Kulusevski is the runner-up, and Dusan Vlahovic now of Manchester City. Mohamed Salah getting a win in 2025 there. That's quite impressive. He must have been well into his 30s when he won that. Vlahovic winning it for Bayern Munich there. He actually went into Bayern Munich to replace Lewandowski when he went to Manchester City. And of course, Erling Haaland with those 2 wins during those 2 seasons, his first 2 seasons. His first season was so good that it carried him through into the next season's award as well. And again, very similar there on the World Player of the Year. Kylian Mbappe with the last 2, Mohamed Salah as well. There we see a little bit of a change there. What was that on the World Player of the Year? Because I see that Vlahovic was different there. Okay, so Mbappe has got 3 World Footballer of the Year in the last 4, and only 2 World Player of the Year. So Kylian Mbappe is now the dominant force. If we look at the World Team of the Year, Hakimi is the current right back in the World Team of the Year. Very nice to see there, with Donnarumma and Haaland on the bench. How has this gone over the last few seasons? Haaland was in the previous season. No Paris Saint-Germain players at all, even on the bench the season before. And only Erling Haaland makes it in on the bench the season before that. So pretty disappointing, really. There, Hakimi and Haaland. And the season before that, which I think that was our final season in charge, Haaland and Messi made the World Team of the Year, while Sergio Ramos and Neymar were on the bench. So all in all, it's ended up being a really disappointing time for the Paris Saint-Germain team and squad. And I was kind of expecting a little in football managers of years gone by. You kind of expected that when you left a team, the AI would quickly destroy it. The last few editions of Paris Saint-Germain, of Football Manager, they have kind of rectified that. The AI is generally a lot better now in terms of keeping the legacy of a team going, buying good players to keep things up to speed, competing well. I really did think that as we had reduced the age of the squad, and I'm now remembering just something we haven't looked at here, the transfer history. Let's go and have a quick look at that and see how quickly the squad has broken up now that I mention it. So yeah, in past editions, you kind of knew that the squad would get quickly broken up and that your legacy would quickly be destroyed. But recent football managers have done a much better job of that. So I was kind of expecting a little bit more. It was nice to see that they did another invincible season and got a Champions League semi-final, but I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more sustained, with the fact that we did reduce heavily the age of the squad. So this was the last season that we saw. So let's have a look. So this is just after. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is the first season that we did. This was our last season in charge, 22-23, where we can see we spent a lot of money. That was the Erling Haaland season. So the following season here was what we saw from Zinedine Zidane in his first season, making a lot of changes there. So we saw the way that one kind of went the last time we were here. If we look now at the following season, so you see there was only 2 signings made, but that was due to Ansu Fati being bought in for 118 million. So that would have been why things were kind of limited there. And on the outs, who left that season? So this is the second season that we had gone. So Kimpembe went to Real Madrid. Yashichi made his loan move to AC Milan. Permanent. Facundo Farias, I guess, is Talleres. Is that in Argentina once again? Did he return home? Was he even Argentinian, Facundo Farias? Yes, he was. So he is now at Lyon. But yeah, his career hasn't gone as I was hoping either. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. So he left pretty quickly without really making a mark. And then there was a lot of youngsters that moved on. We can see there Philip Bungard went to Cannes on loan. Again, how did he end up? I'm guessing we're not really going to be able to see many players' stats now. So his finishing seems to have gone up. What sort of career has Philip Bungard had at Toulouse? He's actually been playing in League Two and scoring a lot of goals there. So he's kind of making a career for himself in League Two there. Hasn't really achieved a great deal, but at least he's playing regular games and scoring a lot of goals. So that was kind of an interesting one. And then the last 2 seasons to complete this. So again, only a couple of players came in the last season. They haven't spent a lot of money the last couple of years, look. So only 16 million. Can that be right there? And then on the outs, who left 2 seasons ago? So Areola left for PSV. Enver Oran, who was one of our youngsters that came through the academy. I think he was Croatian. So he moved on for kind of 8 million. Paredes left. Namandi Collins went to Osberg for 5 million. He was a free transfer signing. Yassine Adli, he went on loan to Napoli. So again, pretty uninspiring business considering what we expect of Paris Saint-Germain. It's not really all that exciting. So are we into the last 2 seasons now? So a little bit more now, 191 million. Nygren from Genk, who of course we've seen is a regular starter for, was he in Germany, or no, he was the Swede. So I missed that he is actually now at Paris Saint-Germain. So yeah, all in all, this is kind of a little bit depressing. I was talking about how average Benjamin Nygren looks, and he's actually at our Paris Saint-Germain team. Is this going to change for us? Is it going to go back? So Leon Bailey in from Bayern Munich, Eder Militao from Real Madrid. They did spend big that season. Marco Asensio in from Chelsea, Abel Ruiz in from Real Madrid. So they made some major Paris Saint-Germain style signings there. I guess they were really trying to have a push for it. It obviously didn't really come off. They had Noni Madueke, look. So I think he went to Real Madrid in game. No, hang on. I'm thinking of someone completely different. Noni Madueke is our English winger that we signed from PSV, who I'm guessing didn't really hit it. He didn't really hit it off at all. I guess I got to take the blame for that one. 30 million, and he was a very, very disappointing signing. Didn't develop as I was hoping. Do I blame myself, or do I blame our scouts for suggesting he should be signed at all costs? Yeah, so Yassine Adli made his loan move to Napoli permanent. Again, another one of my signings which didn't really come off. Neymar went to Gremio on a free, obviously at the end of his contract, I guess, to finish off his career. And Thomas Lemar went to Villarreal for free, and Andrea Boletti went to Lille. So they're all, all pretty depressing. Didn't really turn out as I had been hoping. And we can see again, last season they have spent big again. So they've made some major signings yet again, I guess trying to chase this Champions League. But as of the moment, it hasn't really come off for them. Who else left? Lucas Hernandez went to Real Madrid. Victor Christensen, who was not one of our players. Rodrigo de Paul, who was also not one of our players. We're now really in a situation where very few of our squad members were left there. So yeah, that's about it. That about wraps it all up. Kind of a depressing finish to things. What a shame. What a shame that really we didn't seem to leave much of a legacy. But I think we can be pleased with the success that we did have. We obviously had that almost 100% domestic season, and we did make a Champions League final, which is more than Di Michaelis or Zinedine Zidane have achieved. So all in all, I think we can say we did a better job than anybody that came after us. But yeah, in terms of leaving that lasting legacy, leaving a squad that could go and win a Champions League, I guess you have to say that we kind of failed on that score. But that's it. That's it for us. That wraps it up for the Harlem Fkn Globetrotters. There is no more to come now. We will be back. I'm hoping next week, at the time of recording, I'm hoping next week we will start a really good, really major road to glory save. So please stick around for that. Be ready for that. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you don't miss it. And if you have enjoyed this series, well, give us some likes and leave some comments so we know you're watching. Thanks very much, everybody. We will see you again very, very soon for a brand new Road to Glory series.